So hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've decided to set up at home in our orchard. As you can see behind me there, I've got the Hokki V3 ground hide to get that low aspect shot of the birds. And what we've got here, we've got a slope going up and I've got a load of old windfall apples. So that fruit's fallen down there, it's on the ground, and a lot of the thrushes are taking advantage of that. So we've got redwings, we've got fieldfares, we've got mistle thrush, we've got song thrush, we've got robins, we've got blackbird, and they're all taking massive advantage of the fruit that's on the ground. And this is all windfall stuff, this stuff fallen off the trees in our orchard, and it's just on the ground there for the birds to enjoy. And today I've got Canon R3 and I've got the EF 300 f2.8 Mark I prime lens there. Nice diffuse background, f2.8. Hope to get some nice close-up personal shots of any of the thrushes and the robins and stuff that come in. So yeah, just fancied it really. Been loads and loads of birds. I've seen like in excess of 20, 30 thrushes in the garden. So hopefully getting the hide nice and low. Won't be doing an awful lot of vlogging because of its quite restricted room inside the Hokki V3. I'm dressed like a Michelin man because it's -3 this morning, really cold. So keep myself nice and warm, got some gloves as well. Sitting there for a pair of hours, see how we get on, and hopefully we'll be rewarded with some great shots of some thrushes coming in to forage on that fallen fruit. Going to go and put some fresh apples down that I've just pulled from under the trees over in the orchard there, and put some suet ball pellets as well down. So those suet ball pellets are like a magnet for thrushes and robins and things, so hopefully we'll get plenty in. So guys, and if you can see, just set up now, obviously got the 300 f2.8, lovely to diffuse the background there. So this is the stump here, and this is the apples and things that are behind. This is the view out the window at the moment, nice and low. Hopefully we'll get some birds in shortly. These Valorette photography inner gloves are great for situations like this. Just keeps your hands a little bit warmer, and they're finger sensitive for touch screens and camera operation, so really, really good. Now it's a bit of a waiting game really. It's one of those situations as well with certainly redwings and fieldfares especially are notoriously shy birds. But when it gets really cold like this, they get into gardens and things like that, and they lose some of their inhibitions of humans, and best time really first thing in the morning, but I'm hoping it's now about 9:30, so just give it a bit of time, things to settle down. Nice low position here, which is ideal to get that personal, intimate view to the birds. It's going to take probably 10-20 minutes or so for things to start to settle down a bit. Obviously I've walked through the garden and the birds have obviously flushed. Yeah, we just have to wait and see for them to relax, and maybe we'll get in luck with some of the birds coming in. So we've got a blackbird just coming in at the back at the moment. They're just checking. A couple of robin is coming in. So I've got 2 blackbirds at the moment, just having 2 males, just having a bit of a disagreement. I can hear redwings up in the bushes behind, It'll take them a while, but once they get established, fine, the food's there. Then hopefully they'll be in an abundance and we get some behaviour as well. It's so easy to do this, you know, in your garden. You don't have to have a hide like this, you know, you can set up a bit of scrim netting, anything really, just cover yourself over, get yourself comfortable on the floor, you know. I've got obviously a rather large garden, but you don't need to have a garden so big, you know, just to stretch your lawn. I've let this grow long in here, got all the leaves on the ground, a nice coloration in the ground there for pictures. Nice and easy, really. Not lugging a load of kit around, which is nice. So back in the hide after a bit of lunch and a cuppa. Still pretty quiet. We've had the robin back in, and I can hear thrushes around me, but unfortunately none of them are landing on the ground to feed on the apples. So it is one of those. There's jays around, I've had bullfinches in, there's chaffinches, we've had a brambling, wrens, all sorts of stuff, blue tits, great tits, coal tits, everything's around. But the idea today is to get the thrushes on the ground amongst the leaves with the apples, to get some of those nice sort of late autumn stroke winter shots. But yeah, I've got another couple of hours in here, and you know, hopefully we'll get a bit lucky a bit later on. If not, I'll try another day and keep persevering with it. As I said, the hide's only been here 2 days, so you know, they are getting used to it. Get a lot of redwing, fieldfare and blackbird roosting in here, so if they've got their wits about them, they'll know that this is not the normal thing on their patch. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes, and hopefully they may come in later on in the afternoon, all being well. So things are starting to look up a little bit now. We've had a few more blackbirds in, had a male, and there's a sub-adult there, and the male chased it off. So a few more blackbirds in, which has been nice. Had a song thrush and a missile thrush up in the hedge line, but they flew off, so no such luck there. Still, it's nice to see the birds in. They haven't been eating the apples at all, they just left them alone. I noticed that at home when I put trail cams up that they do tend to go for the apples first thing in the morning, I think just to give them a bit of energy, foraging for the rest of the day, probably on things a bit more substantial, and maybe just as they go to roost they might feed on the apples a bit more. They've been absolutely hammered, the apples here, so they obviously have been using them, but just for different times of the day, I guess. Early morning and then going to roost. But there's birds everywhere, it's just everywhere, but I'm in a low ground hide and I'm too low down for the birds in the trees, as I'll be shooting high up into the light as well, so not ideal, but hour to go. You've got a couple blackbirds in at the moment. You've got a male here that's keeping the youngster away from the apples at the minute. They might be common birds, but they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun just to watch them. Well guys, that pretty much concludes the vlog for today. Spent about 4.5 hours in here, I guess, and I've really enjoyed it. It's not been as busy as I'd hoped. Had some blackbirds in, a couple chiff chaffs in the bushes just at the side. We had great tits, we had blue tits, had a couple long-tailed tits as well, which was fantastic. But as far as the food goes on the ground, with the fallen apples there from the orchard, had a male blackbird and a sub-adult as well there. So not as much as I'd like. There was lots of red-winged fieldfare, and there was song thrush and mistle thrush in the trees, but they didn't actually come in. So I'm going to come back here again, give it a go, and hopefully next time we'll get a different amount of thrushes in, maybe once that cold snap hits even more. But a good example today really, it just goes to show that you don't have to travel far, you don't have to take a huge amounts of kit with you, you know, just one lens, one camera body, in your garden, a bit of fruit down on the ground for the birds, helps them out as well at the moment when things are getting a little bit colder. Set up a blind, a hide, anything you can, bit of scrim netting, you name it. Get on the ground, cover yourself over, ground sheet down, roll mat, whatever, and just get in there and see if you can get some shots. So I'm quite pleased, got a couple little half decent images there today, and hopefully they'll come out okay on the computer when I get back in. But as always guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.